the Belmont boondoggle. In this year's executive budget, Governor Hochul is asking taxpayers to guarantee $455 million to finance a new luxury racing facility at Belmont. Why are we giving a bunch of wealthy racehorse owners and developers $500 million in taxpayer dollars? Well, we've been doing it all along. New York has been giving billions in subsidies to horse racing for decades in hope of reviving this dying industry, but it's dying. In fact, bailouts and subsidies for horse racing might be the largest corporate welfare fiasco in New York State history, and it needs to end now. And all of these New Yorkers here with us and millions more are sick and tired of corporate welfare like this. Just look at the fiasco around the Buffalo Bills. Millions that went to a billionaire who owns the Buffalo Bills stadium. But at least people attend football games. No one is going to these racetracks. They sit empty day after day. Enough is enough. The wealthy racehorse owners, breeders, and celebrity trainers should fund their own investments and gaming projects.
We work with our immigrants and foreign guest workers, including workers in industries associated with horse racing and adjacent industries. We are here today because we know that when NYRA tries to justify their massive taxpayer bailouts, they're always saying that this industry is so critical for the state's economy. But we have not seen any independent entity ever verify those overblown job claims. What we know is that Governor Hochul highlights the industry's job figures, but she won't even release the data of where that comes from or what it's even based on. The irony here is that these jobs are often filled by workers in these facilities that are among the most exploited and abused in New York State. The New York racing industry has a long history of violations against its workers, from deplorable housing and working conditions to the exploitation of immigrant workers who are employed by wealthy trainers, breeders, etc., using the guest worker program, often using this visa program to increase their profits. We know that wage theft is rampant at racing facilities across the state, as well as on farms. Multiple U.S. and New York State Department of Labor investigations indicate that trainers see financial penalties as just part of the normal course of doing business. Just in the last 3 years, labor fines in New York racing have totaled into the millions of dollars. So NYRA is basing its ad campaign for a new racetrack on the number of workers employed in the industry. But they're not actually lifting a finger to protect those workers, particularly the immigrants and foreign guest workers who sustain this industry. Lastly, it's really important to note that the governor is saying that she can find $500 million for Belmont in this budget, but we haven't seen her say that we can find $500 million for the unemployment bridge program, which would serve many of the excluded and exploited workers that work in this industry. That's a big problem for us.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashley Byrne with PETA. You hear a lot from the horse racing industry about what the industry needs for New York. So let's dig into that a bit. The largest criminal indictments in U.S. sports history are taking place right now in New York State. And that's because New York horse racing is rife with illegal doping. Horses are drugged to make them run faster, and that often ends in death. The FBI has cracked down on horse racing in New York, and in a sting operation, they nabbed trainers, veterinarians, and owners, and drug makers. 31 horse racing defendants have been convicted, have plea bargained, or are going to trial soon in the Southern District. One of the indicted is Jorge Navarro, who raced at Belmont Park and is now serving a 5-year sentence. Another is Jason Service, who trained Maximum Security, the horse who finished first in the 2019 Kentucky Derby. He will be sentenced in May. Criminal investigations by federal authorities underscore the ineffectiveness of New York Gaming Commission regulators, the New York Drug Testing Lab, and of private racetrack security.
racing industry to enhance purses at racetracks. So if you've been to a horse race any time in the past few years, you would be one of the few people in the stands. Why are we giving away money, a loan that we will never see paid back, to prop up an industry where horses die on the track all the time, where workers, as you heard before, do not get properly paid and are not properly treated? Why are we doing that? You know, several experts in sports economics have reviewed the plan and poked holes in the idea that this renovation project would spur the attendance and economic growth they're suggesting. Not only that, they've all doubted NYRA's ability to actually repay the loan. Now, there are so many areas in the budget where we need more money, whether it's helping home care workers, whether it's helping direct service professionals, whether it's more money for disabled and intellectually challenged youngsters. There is so much need out there. If we're going to loan money, $500 million, then why don't we do it for something that actually needs the money and will serve the public and society? Horse racing is serving the people who are fat cats who work at NYRA. They are not serving the people. So, we should not prop up a dying industry with such blatant mismanagement and abuse. The animals, the workers, everyone's suffering under this scheme, and I just wonder why on earth there's $500 million in our state budget.
Extending more corporate welfare to the New York Racing Association makes absolutely no sense financially. Horse racing is an archaic, long and declined gambling business that is simply unable to compete with the lottery, casinos, and now mobile sports betting. But beyond cheating school children out of tens of millions in desperately needed education dollars each year, there is a real cost to all of this in lives. Specifically, the lives of the so-called equine athletes this industry so deceptively celebrates. Horse Racing Wrongs is a national nonprofit known for, among other things, compiling and reporting unprecedented data on the U.S. horse racing industry. In the most recent 5-year period, 2018 through 2022, the combined death toll at Aqueduct and Belmont, which is precisely what the new Belmont would comprise, is 274, a figure that would rank first in the nation in horses killed. That is what Governor Hochul is proposing to build, the deadliest racetrack in America. Viewed another way, if NYRA gets this money and builds this track, using the historical average of 61 dead annually at Aqueduct Belmont, we can reasonably expect another 1,200 or so horses to perish at the new Belmont Park over the term of this loan. That's 1,200 beautiful, intelligent, sensitive creatures who will be killed for nothing more than $2 bets and by an industry that is being propped up by taxpayers. And this doesn't even begin to account for the myriad more who will be raced in New York and who, once the industry is done exploiting them, will land in equine hell, the slaughterhouse. In short, we are asking the legislature to please reject this latest money grab by NYRA, and by doing so, protect and save the lives of countless horses. Thank you.
$455 million is not chump change. It's not just a little bit of money. That's money that can go for critical services, to support people, for child care, for helping people to live and eat every single day. So let me just introduce myself. I'm Robert Jackson. I'm the state senator that represents parts of Manhattan and the Bronx. New York must invest in services that make our communities better, not prop up inhumane, failing industry. And when our working class communities so desperately need funding for critical services, it is wrong-headed to loan, so they say, loan. In my opinion, that's a giveaway, but $455 million of New York taxpayers' dollars for an industry with a reputation of abusing and neglecting horses and and violating workers' rights. This is wrong. I know it. They know it. You know it. And so we are here to must put an end to it. It is simply wrong to continue to subsidize the horse racing industry at the expense of hard-working New Yorkers, working-class communities, which need funding for schools, hospitals, public safety, transportation, and more. And that's why I'm committed to working with my assembly member, Linda Rosenthal, a fighter for working people. Okay. My colleague and growing coalition here for advocates to pass a law that will stop these corporate handouts and low return, if any, in our investment. Our working class community needs funding, as I said earlier, for critical services. And our legislation will help make sure this happens. So let's work together to ensure New York invests in services that make us better, not prop up the inhumane, failing industry of the horse race. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here today with you. And let me introduce our state assembly member, the fighter of all people in Northern Manhattan, many years, the sponsor in the assembly, Linda Rosenthal.
I spoke already, but as you can see, we have a great sponsor in the Senate who's as big a fighter, so we're a perfect team to get this done. Thank you, everyone.
I want to present this trophy to Governor Hochul because the $500 million budget, $500 million loan that she put in her budget will create the deadliest track in New York State.